Hey guys, and welcome to an unplanned episode of Banter Blitz, which, let's face it, is most episodes. This one I'm doing because I was intending to do commentary on the FIDE World Cup starting at 2 p.m., even with the guest star. But it turns out that there are no more games running in said FIDE World Cup. 2 draws, not overly surprising. This is a long, grueling event. And also for the guys that made it to the finals, they did get their tickets to the candidates. So it's kind of normal. They might want to catch their breath for a little bit. While, the race for third place, it matters a little. I guess there's money at stake, and MVL's chances of getting the wild card also increase, although his chances should still be pretty bad. If he is the runner-up in one of these formats. But 2 quick draws, not much to talk about. Theory battles, both sides in both games knew what they were doing. So, not all that much action. Therefore, this is Banter Blitz. My name is Jan Gustafsson. I am, as we could see yesterday, a highly qualified, confident Blitz player. And today, I shall prove that to the tens of people watching. Let's play some games, shall we? Do you have any challenges? You can challenge me. Challenge me to 3-minute games, actually. I'm so terrible at 3-minute games. I need some practice. So here we go. What about that guy? Chess Didou, FIDE Master? From France? Wow, he's a kid? Kids are tough. Playing the Scotch. How old are you, Chess Didou? Are you a pupil of Laurent Fressinet? Did he teach you to play the 4 knights? What's going on here? This position I've had a million times. No one ever goes d takes c6. And I sort of forgot to play bishop g4, which is my secret preparation, instead of c takes d5. So we're now stuck with this very old and very boring position. Black is supposed to be fine, but it is extremely boring. Let's see if he wants the endgame or if he wants to go bishop to f4. No. Endgame it is. Yeah, black is considered okay here. I'm not sure if I've already mentioned. This is very boring. I don't think I've mentioned that part at all. So, it is somewhat dull. I'll misplay it. Not on purpose, but on stupidity. Maybe that will make it somewhat more exciting. Here's some knight g3, knight to h5 ideas, which I will whine about in due time. Chess d2, taking his time here, considering knight d4, when I could go bishop c5, or bishop d7, and probably after bishop f5 I should go bishop c5, which is, not terribly exciting. He does go knight g3, which is somewhat more active. Not sure what I'm supposed to do. Put the rook here for now. And then start the whining if he goes knight h5. It's whining time. I don't like the look of bishop e7, rook f3. So I'll put my bishop on this more active but also more shaky square and hope nothing too bad happens to me along the way. Monsieur Didou keeps making sensible, aggressive moves. But I have a great reserve of, solidity here. I would argue at least. Promise I don't have a great reserve of activity, so the position remains pretty dull. Push this pawn a bit to see what happens. If he wants to take it, or if he wants to leave it as it is. Both seem reasonable. Takes it. Makes the game somewhat more complex. Here's this passed a pawn, where the structure would be compromised. Well, if he does nothing, which he does, we continue in dull land. Not sure if rook or bishop. Rook takes bishop f5. Bores me a little bit. Bishop takes knight f5. Scares me a little bit, so I'll go with the scary option. Knight f5, c5, and we'll see what happens. He goes rook f1, looks a bit slow. And here comes the knight again. takes. I'm hoping c4 scares him, although I have to admit, I'm not sure how scary that really is. Nah, wasn't that scary, was it? c4 he could have taken, and bishop e4, and maybe I can take on rook b2, but didn't look too promising. So I'll go for this, which at the very least offers some more chances for both sides, unfortunately. Well, what can you do? d3 takes, bishop d4 check, king g3 takes, maybe takes first, and if I calculate it correctly, he can't take because of bishop d4 followed by rook e3, and if he can't take, then my d-pawn could be a bit of a thorn in his side. Run, d-pawn. Chase the king away a bit, at least that was the plan. Didn't work out to perfection, I think is fair to admit. Now, how do we proceed from here? Bishop e4? I really don't see any tactics ever. This one I see. Not sure how good it is, but I don't see anything better. Doesn't look like his pawns are really going anywhere. Therefore, my chances strike me as pretty good here. And chess d2 resigns. Hard fought 4 knights game. So, chat, what's happening? It's been such a long time since we spoke. Fyodorovich is asking if I've been watching Larry David. Nah, only like every episode of the 11th season, like maybe five times. So I think that counts as a no. Santiago Barbeto is saying, hello, Mr. Jan. Hello, Santiago Barbeto. Chess Didu is saying, thanks for the game. Thank you, Chess Didu. The commentator is saying, oh, he's going back over moves in the middle of a game. That means he's feeling fresh. I don't even know what that means. Perpetual Stalemate is saying, your thoughts on Anish withdrawal from Isle of Man? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, no? Anish, he's now a big favorite for the rating spot to the candidates, since Ding Liren takes one of the World Cup spots, and Anish has a 27-point lead over Maxime Vachier-Lagrave in the November list. So it's hard for him to catch, and it becomes even harder to catch him if he does not play. Therefore, yeah, I think it's logical. I'm happy he did not withdraw from the European Team Championship, because the mighty Dutch team needs him. But other than that, yeah, seems like a very understandable decision to me. Let's continue playing tough, guys. I need all the practice I can get. Mr. Sergei Rachmaninov, 29-13. Don't worry, you putzes out there. Next game is all yours. Epinikon says, congrats on your win yesterday. Thank you, thank you. Smooth victory. Here we go against Mr. Sergei. My default move in this position is knight c2. But sometimes you gotta mix it to win the biscuit. That doesn't rhyme. So you gotta risk it, right? I prefer you gotta mix it. This line I've seen before. Computer always says like plus 100 for white here. Computer's not a big fan of this setup. Not sure how bad it can be, but in general, I am a believer in the white structure and all these Maroczy positions. If he goes f5, which I guess will be part of his plan, then I'll take and argue that his kingside is a little weakened. I'm not sure if I should flick this horsey in here already, but it does look tempting. Bishop d5, even cd. There are all these holes on the kingside, so it seems like a sensible thing to do. He goes knight c7, which also strikes me as a somewhat sensible move. When Josef Dorfman would argue you just recapture on d5 with the e-pawn and you're winning. That's maybe a bit strong, but that is the plan. I will go with, he goes e6. I could try to weaken him further with bishop g5, but after f6, does that accomplish that much? Not sure, I'll do it just for funsies. f6, I'll take on c7. He can't take on g5 because of knight e6, so he has to recapture. And I was hoping this position would still be good for me because of the weaknesses and his somewhat softened structure. It's not exactly winning, I'll admit, but what can you do? Not sure which rook, but I'm sort of anticipating f5 to happen one day when it's gonna be nice to have my rook on the e-file. At least so I thought. Bishop f1, just stabilizing and once again preparing for potential openings of this e-file thingy. He gives a check. I'll get out of the way. Bishop e3 was a reasonable move as well, of course. But I find it hard to believe that d5 could be an option for him here. And if it's not, what's he gonna do? Probably will play d5. He doesn't. a5. That weakens Mr. b6. So we shall pay him a visit. Mr. b6, would you mind joining my team? Guess he minds. Perpetual Stalemate is saying he's gonna cancel his challenge because I'm playing Patzers next. Don't you worry, Perpetual Stalemate. You will always have a shot. Does that make any sense? Not really. So what's going on now? b3 looks like a reasonable thing to do. 2 pawns are 2 pawns, as we say in Alemania. Won't be easy to bungle this. Not impossible, but not easy either. I'm going rook c1 to prepare b4, b5. Yeah, it's not like black has a lot to show for his missing 2 pawns. d5, b5 doesn't help all that much. So it's been smooth sailing. Bishop b4, ba wins, but might as well keep my rook. I like rooks. I think they are a serious advantage over non-rooks. My position still strikes me as good because of my rooks theory mainly. And Sergei Rachmaninov resigns. Boom. Great shape today. What else is there to talk about? What's happening in the chess world? You guys tell me. Let's play Yap Attack. And yep, you should consider that an insult. Yap Attack. Do we have any beverages here? Barely. f4. That's a personal attack on me. But of course, I will follow the great logic of Mr. Trent that knight h6 followed by d5 is a brilliant idea which can absolutely not be reached by d5 followed by knight h6. Oh wait, it can? Never mind. Now what's my stupid knight doing on h6? We didn't think this through, did we? c5 looks more normal, but to justify this knight, I will go fishing, go queen b6, hit this pawn, maybe have knight f5. And then it's nice to have the c pawn not blocking the view to e3. And d4 he goes. Now we're transposing to more Stonewall-esque territory, where I was told the horses should go to f6 and d6. And I always do as I'm told. Makes me such a great employee. Miktal is asking, are there doping tests for the Banter Blitz? No, there are not. So I got my horses where I wanted them. Next out will be the bishop. The good thing about these structures is that black's control of the e4 square is more eternal than white's control of the e5 square, since I am still allowed to play f6 at a later juncture, while f3 for white would be an illegal move. Bishop f5, I'm not sure if gf is correct, but I don't want to allow him to go knight takes f5, e4, altering the structure, so I'll go with this, keeping control over the magical e4 square. I don't think any potential kingside attacks can be too dangerous. Queen g3, I always have knight e4 and queen h4. Does not seem to accomplish all that much, so looks alright. Knight e5 makes some sense. I should not blunder knight e4, knight d7, which I have blundered many a time. It's tempting to do it again. But no, I've had enough blunders yesterday. No more blunders, Jan. Put your queen on the most random square you can think of to escape that lethal blunder. Dutch Defender is saying, hi Jan, hi all, great subtitles. Did we finally subtitle me in every possible language? Was about time. I was thinking about having like mutual translators there where it says Go Premium. I just have... But then maybe the audio track would get a little confusing, so we had to give up on that idea. Yap Attack is playing well, by the way. Not appreciated. And Pawnstar is asking, who's my favorite to win the World Cup? It helps that we already made it to the finals, no? So it's sort of easier to give predictions now. Therefore, I would go with Mr. Ding Liren. Go away, horsey. Maybe bishop takes e5 was a more prudent course of action. But I didn't wanna. Knight goes there. That is legal. Now he will have to go knight c5. You cannot really see the 1500 points rating difference in this game thus far. But hopefully, eventually, I will launch a lethal attack somewhere. Probably on some weak pawn. That's the plan. There's a question, if not every Banter Blitz player would fail a doping test because they're all drinking coffee? Nah, coffee is fine. Coffee is no longer on the doping list. That used to be an issue 15 years ago or something. Chess players were worried. They could no longer drink coffee during their games, but that is no longer the case. FE is the positionally more appealing move, but I somewhat like DE, giving my rook access to this d3 square. The bishop can always get back into business with e6, bishop f8, target this guy. So DE does look like a good decision. VS85 is saying, by the way, Sairavan narrates a story of how Ivanchuk ran away from dope testers. Yeah, I was there. That was Dresden, 2008. Ukraine had just lost a key last round matchup, costing them a medal. And yeah, I think Chucky was worried about other things than attending the dope test. He did not really seem to understand what they were looking for. What are we complaining about? Yep, Pippin saying, Jan, your great black microphone is prawns with a green screen keying. Looks like old TV pictures back when there was antennas. That is the look we're going for. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Not sure there will or can be done anything about it, but noted. Ah, yeah, I see there's some Star Wars going on there. Bishop d4, give me that bishop. Tipsy Toon is saying you achieved the sideways bathtub structure. Yeah, it's not as good as the pure bathtub, because think about it, sideways bathtub, what is the use? All the water would go out. But still, it's better than nothing. This bishop is trapped, therefore Yep attack, after a tough fight, is now in some trouble. No rook d7 for you, sir. And Yep attack does resign. Thanks for the game. Subpico fan club is saying 99% of Jan's predictions are based on the player's rating. It's a package, it goes with one d4 repertoire. So what would you think is a good indicator for future success, if not the rating? Or would you disagree with me and say Rajava was the favorite against England? Let's play Julian 14051992. That's his birth date. You can't fool me, Julian. You were born on the 14th of May 1992, which makes you very, very young. Mr. Dodgy is saying there's no real evidence anything helps with chess. But I heard that Mr. Dodgy, allegedly, is running a very selfless test to figure out the influences of cocaine on a chess player's performance. Therefore, maybe that groundbreaking study will let us know if there is any known substance we can take. The problem with chess is also that you don't know how long the game is going to take, right? Like, you probably want a different substance for a 5-minute game than for a let's say 1-hour game than for a 5-hour game. So I don't know. I haven't done that much research. Still waiting for the results of the Dodgy study. And Debugger is wondering if I read the chat during my hard-fought, to put it mildly, match yesterday. No, I didn't. I felt it was somewhat wrong to read the chat. Maybe people will say smart moves or something. But yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster between being very miserable and being miserable. This is, normally my range of emotions. So it was tough. As for the game, I'm doing well here. In pure Nimzovich fashion, I undermined his center. Who would have thought about these things if not for my system? And now there's some trouble for Julian, 1405-1992. Mr. Dodgy saying Lawrence arrived mid-match to ask the score. That does sound like him. Julian 1405 should maybe consider desperate measures like rook takes d5, ed knight d5, even though I would have quite some material then, and I wouldn't even be forced to take on d5. Still, since he's a piece down, and in the long run, although I did not really prove that yesterday either, in the long run, extra pieces should be an advantage. I feel he has to look for a way to mix it. Cable Train is asking, does Chess24 allow us to resize the board to any size? I don't think so. No, there are different board sizes, but not any you want. It's only large and extra large. Pornstar is asking, Jan, are you playing in the 50k Chess24 banter streams? Yeah, I won my match yesterday in glorious fashion, as previously discussed on this show, so the 50k is pretty much mine. I know, 50k is not the first prize, right? It's a prize fund. As for the position, still in decent shape. Not much to say. It's a rook up situation. A topic that I have studied in painstaking detail. And I have even looked into simplifying rook up situations into endgames, leading to rook up and 2 pawns up situations. Was it 3 pawns? So, no rook up theme is foreign to me. I believe is not an exaggeration to say. I was fighting the urge to pre-move rook c8 there, and I managed. And Julian 14/05/1992 does call it a game, because this endgame does not offer him a lot of hope. Thanks for the game though. Who's next? Any noobs? You know I like my noobs. Can't find any Let's Play. I care. Do you have that site in English which says, who cares? Then there's a picture of John Wayne. And he says, hey, I care? Probably not, right? Because in German the joke works with Wayne interessiert. In English it doesn't. Germans are famous for their wordplay. Queen a5 is not the greatest of moves, but it's a line I invented back in the late 90s. Death threatened knight takes e4. The only problem is after knight b3. We have just pointlessly lost time moving the queen around. And especially after knight d5. That fact could backfire. Now I get sort of a normal position. Playing e6, a6, arguing the knight is worse on b3 than on d4. Even though that line of logic, I'm not sure it holds water anymore in these crazy times of ours where people go knight b3 against the knight or voluntarily. Being the famous attacking player I am, h5 really is the only move that I would even consider here. Normal people would play d6 followed by b5, but for a firebrand such as yours truly, I just don't have that kind of patience. I'm hoping to scare him with knight g4. Any normal move like f4 makes h5 look fairly ridiculous. Knight a4. Okay. Gonna have to stick with the program then. And execute my threat. He thought I was bluffing. But I never bluff. If it takes hg, queen h2 check is still a bit of a bother. g3, knight e5. Well, he still has bishop f4. It's not winning yet, but pleasant it does not look. g3 does seem to be the move. I don't see any real alternatives to knight e5 either, when he has to go bishop f4 or knight d4 or knight d2. And then we'll have a look around. Not quite sure what he's thinking about. f4 gf is not ideal. And yeah, queen h2 check is a bit of a threat. He's saying, good game, sorry, thanks. Are you planning to resign already? It's too early to resign. You're in trouble, but play g3. He doesn't want to. g3, it's not game over. I was going to go knight e5, threatening a check. Then, yeah, as mentioned, bishop f4. So you have knight f3, queen f3, or knight somewhere. Black is in great shape, but I would not have resigned yet. Let's play another chess game. Wow, our boy is here to kick my little butt. Yet again, Alireza Firouzja. The strongest player in the world under what? 18, 19, 20? He's 2700 and he's like 16 years old. That should not even be legal. Alireza, are you there? Maybe he thought, I am Alireza. I'm not going to wait for half an hour until Jan manages to click on my challenge, which is an understandable train of thought. Looks like he's not in the building. Alright, I'm gonna abort. If you see this, Alireza, challenge me again, and you can crush me later. So, I believe the only fair substitute for Mr. Firouzja, the arguably greatest player, greatest talent that we have in today's chess, is Perpetual Stalemate. The arguably greatest London system player from his Romanian village, even though I'm not sure about that. Not sure about the Romania, not about the village, and mainly not sure if Perpetual Stalemate really is the greatest in his town when it comes to London system experts. But I'm sure he's in the top 10. Setting a cunning trap here already. I should explain this. If I were to play knight takes d4 here, the cunning Perpetual Stalemate would go knight takes d4, bishop d1, bishop b5 check, and win the game, leading to many tears in the Gustafsson household. Didn't happen, so we now have this position, which I don't know, is a position. I have the bishops, which I like. He played b3, weakening some dark squares, which I also like, so I like most things. Queen e1, self-pinning. Risky strategy from Mr. Perpetual Stalemate here to queen d4. I think he has to go bishop e3, because bishop e5 I have queen d2, but something's clearly going wrong. Maybe it was a mouse slip, maybe he wanted queen e2, not queen e1, because queen e1 is hard to explain. I would guess it was a mouse slip, actually. Here comes the queen. I could go bishop d6, forcing f4, but I'm hoping that he won't go f4 yet, and therefore bishop d6 will come with even more venom. Great movie. Not really. On the next move. And Perpetual Stalemate does resign. Sorry, I'm assuming queen e1 was mostly Perpetual Stalemate. And who knows what would have happened after queen e2. Let's play area 51. I have a good score against area 51. I think we played a lot of bullet. So he probably is very scared of me. And why wouldn't he be? See? The move 2c4 already catching him off guard. What can we do here? I normally play e3. Sometimes I play cd, bishop f4. Sometimes I play... What do I play sometimes? Ah yeah, he always does this in bullet, no? This can't be very good. But now that we have all the time in the world to think this through, what am I supposed to do? cd, I guess bishop f3. Yeah, this is actually not terrible for black. No, this looks quite reasonable for black, if I'm being honest. Great pity. I'll play as boringly as humanly possible. Bring the queen back. Not doing that much on f3. Play bishop e2. Short castles. Then hope that one day I can do something with my bishops on the queen side. Knight a4, queen b3, whatever. Play. Did not really achieve much here. Which is very, very sad. Area 51. Taking his time. Goes queen e7, which looks perfectly reasonable, as does knight d7. But hopefully I'll be able to ask one question on the queen side eventually. Not a lot of threats yet. He can just go rook b8, cover the b7 pawn. But it's a somewhat passive move, so maybe he's not thrilled to play it. Bishop b4 you could think about, but then you have to be ready for takes, followed by rook c7. So that's sort of a riskier operation. Bishop b4, I could also go rook c6 directly, maybe. No, gotta go rook b8. Just do it. What the H are you waiting for? He's playing well. Did not expect that from you, Area 51. Stop making all these sensible moves. That was not part of our agreement. Because now b5 was sort of looming, therefore I felt I should get rid of this knight. But here, yeah, I don't really have much. I'll continue playing, maybe try to double the rooks, rook c2, rook fc1, and one day, maybe, there is some potential play on the queen side, but black is very fine. Can even think about e5 here, which would be a typical way to break free. But also nothing wrong with whatever. Bishop c7, chasing my queen away, as he does. And then do something. Queen d6, always worth a shot. But I have studied my mate somewhat. Not in great detail. But yeah, so far, achieved nothing. Even bishop a5 is possible. Although then he has to be ready. Or he has to spot rook c6, bc6, which is not impossible, but could scare him maybe. Still not much going on, and not much is phrasing it strongly. So I'll just keep biding my time. Knight a5, do I want to let that knight live? Yeah, it sounds more exciting than bishop takes a5. Knight c4, I have bishop b4 followed by b3. So it's not too big a nuisance. He keeps playing well. This is really getting upsetting. At least I'm playing faster, so it's not like yesterday where I was hopelessly behind on the clock. b3 looks like a sensible move to make, so I can recapture on c2 with the queen if needed. Also, I might be thinking about a4 to finally create some weaknesses on this queen side. And by I might be thinking, I mean, I'll do it and see what happens. Perpetual Stalemate is asking, why don't GMs fall for cheap opening traps? Which one was there? Knight takes d4. Yes, sorry, that one I learned with colors reversed. As a kid, in the Queen's Gambit, you also have this knight b7, knight takes d5. If not, I would have fallen for it. But once again, knowledge compensated for lack of skill. That's my chess approach. It's a frustrating one. Sometimes it works. Alright, did I make some progress here? It looked like some progress. But how do we increase the pressure to unbearable amounts? Maybe it's time to take. Take again. Pin. Arguably not the scariest pin the world has ever seen, but hopefully scary enough. Queen c7 I can take on a5, so I was hoping he'd be in trouble. Queen c2, queen b6, queen d2, queen b7, and there's no perpetual anywhere. Therefore, yeah, my hard work might finally bear fruit. And Area 51 does resign. Thanks for the game, Area 51. What else we got? Sitake, although he's challenging at a time control that frankly should be forbidden. 3 minutes plus 2 seconds, which in the internet world is also known as correspondence chess. But because it's you, Sitake, I will see and take it. Good old English. Knight f3, I guess transposes, but I don't like some of these f5 lines, and also that's some reason. Bishop c5, am I supposed to start with knight f3 anyway? Who knows? There's some line here where black goes d5, cd, knight b4, and argues he's okay. I'm not sure if he really is okay, but I've seen this theme. Gitsy is asking, can I play you? No, sorry, Gitsy, you're not a Chess24 premium member, which you have to be in order to partake in the Banter Blitz. Surfing Ripper, have to go to work in the coal mine. So you spend your days below ground and your evenings on the water. Is that what's happening, Surfing Ripper? Can I go b4? I kind of want to play b4, but I can't calculate. Knight b4, c5, dc. No, it doesn't really seem to work. That's a great pity. I will prepare it then, but that's less cool. Generally, black's position doesn't look very healthy. This pawn on f5 is blocking normal squares for his pieces. So to combine f5 with taking on d4 strikes me as wrong. I don't know what black should do here, or it looks not great, but if in doubt, play bishop b6 directly. He goes knight e7, which makes sense. After b4 he wants to take and play c6. Anyway, I'll go with it. Now, fish for some weaknesses. Bishop c7. Yeah, he's playing all right after the sort of unfortunate opening. He's made a lot of sensible moves. Never sure about rook e1. I always feel bad leaving my poor f2 pawn out of sight. But how bad can it be? It's not that much. Not sure about c5, but something I have done wrongly. Because now black is sort of alright. And he did not deserve that the way the opening went. I can take an f4. Yeah, I've not played this well at all. f4, g4 would be the instinctive reaction. But g4, then he had knight g6 followed by knight h4, so maybe f4. I had to go bishop f4. Now I think I should go f4, stop any black f4, and try to use the fact that this knight is pretty far from the e4 square. How does it get there? e8 tactics. I want to take on d5, but I'm not sure it does me much good. Rook e8, queen e8, knight d5, cd, bishop d5, bishop e6. Nope, doesn't really seem to work. So, good old piece development it is. Although that's a silly square for the bishop. Yeah, black is still fine, roughly equal. My knight is also far away from the e5 square. So neither side has achieved anything great, but this finally allows me to get my one cheapo in. It's the good old saying, if strategy doesn't work, try cheapos. Earlier it didn't quite work because of takes bishop e6 and the queen was covering a8, but now he can't go bishop e6 for various reasons. Therefore, this is pretty bad news for c-take. Blackfin0521 is asking, do you still have time for new challenges? Yeah, you can challenge at any time. It doesn't mean I will necessarily accept it, but normally I don't go in order of challenges received, but by gut. I could try rook a2, but it doesn't really change anything. I could even just move my bishop away, because cd bishop d5 still wins. Other than that, I could probably also try to grab some pieces like knight c7, followed by rook e8, rook c8. Yeah, let's grab him by the bishop with impunity. And c-take resigns. Played a good game strategically, but then he allowed me the one trick in the position, is knight takes d5. Sorry. Let's play Broman. What does Broman stand for? Is that a Barney Stinson term? Bromancing the stone? No, Broman. Maybe it's just his name. Benjamin Romin. We will never know. Mr. Dodgy is saying, I thought that saying was just try cheapos. Yeah. It's a short saying though. Cheapos serve strategy was the original saying, but then they altered it to cheapos serve strategy if strategy fails. And Broman is serving other masters right now. So, sorry Broman. Wow, materialist. More evidence of great German wordplay and a title, a nickname. I fully understand. I don't know who invented this setup. Probably Botvinnik, right? Looks Botvinnikish. Carlsen is playing a lot of worse versions than that. Every single game these days. Here I have a fairly flexible structure. It's hard for him to stop either d5 or f5. So this already looks like a pretty good position. He goes b3. d5 is more my style. But there's also nothing wrong with d6 followed by f5. Not sure which one to go for, but if in doubt, grab the center. The bishop on b2 will not be the happiest camper ever to camp on that square. And since Kasparov taught us a knight on f4 is worth a pawn, I just want a pawn. The problem is if I take on d3 now, I will win a pawn but no longer have the knight on f4 worth a pawn. Therefore it will not be a material gain. So I have to wrap my head around all these complex conflicting blah blah blah. I was going to say something. Conflicting somethings. Kimat is saying, when I'm not picked up, I always have the feeling that I did something very wrong in the chat earlier or some other day spinning. No, Kimat, nothing could be further from the truth. That's just because of my immense popularity. I literally have 5s of challenges, so it's hard to pick them all up all at once. But you have never done anything wrong, according to my very, very short memory. Materialist will probably not enjoy his position very much here. His pieces are sort of, what's the term? Bad? So Dodgy is saying, I will play Edouard or Lucas van Foreest. That sounds tough. I was promised that opponents would get easier every round. In the Banter Blitz Cup. Wow, Monsieur Romain Edouard or my Dutch boy, Lucas van Foreest. That sounds like Mission Impossible. I'm gonna have to practice so much. I'm gonna have to invent a time machine. And brain transplants. In very limited time. He's still hanging around. Hanging around. How can I increase the pressure? Don't know. Grab some space. How bad can it be? All these pieces. They look somewhat uncoordinated. Tomato Juice is saying, you're whiter than usual. Yeah, I know, it's this. The new studio lighting makes me look even whiter than I am. And I was a finalist a couple of times for whitest person on the planet. Therefore, I'm not sure that's a good thing. If my natural skin color is unhealthy, then what is this we're dealing with now? Just dead? A vampire? What's that tone called? Materialist continues being outplayed by the great Grandmaster. His pieces are not on good squares. But the great Grandmaster does not only have troubles with the TH, but also with finishing games. Therefore, nothing is lost yet. I wish I was teasing, but it is the sad truth. Okay, you got to take. It's pity it's rook d2. I enjoy it aesthetically when you can attack a piece and it just can't be defended. It's beautiful. But rook d2 is still there. Queen d2 is not, because I can take. So Mr. Dodgy is saying after Edouard or Lucas van Foreest, it's Duda. What time do I start making the big bucks? After I beat Duda? Wow. This is not such an easy field as I thought it was. Anyway, thanks for the game, Materialist. You didn't even get to grab any material. Let's continue smurfing. That sounds like a sexual practice, no? Smurfing? I'm afraid to Google it. But our Smurfen is just a strong chess player who enjoys his Trompowsky as much as the next guy. I usually play d5, but I'm a little bored, so let me change tunes and go here. h4, wow. Out of book. Okay. How much can there be to know about h4? Can I go c5, or is that too optimistic? Usually my default recipe against all nonsense is go t5, c5, and then have a look at what we've got here. dc queen a5 check I thought should be okay. So maybe d5. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do after d5. g6 or f6. Who knows? Maybe f6. Looks a bit funny. Yeah, not sure how much I'm liking this. I'm not loving it. It's bishop g3. That comes as a bit of a surprise. I thought he should go for that endgame, because now it's not that obvious how he wants to mobilize his pieces. My bishop on d6 does a pretty decent job restricting any potential activity he could have. So this looks like a decent position, I would say. I'll go b5 just because I can. Bishop b5, queen a5 check, no good, and e2 is not the square Mr. Bishop was really dreaming of. Does this belong here? I'm not sure about that. I'll put it there, but I'm not sure that's where it should have gone. Is an awkward conversation to be heard in bedrooms daily. Still, my position should be kind of good, I would guess, because d5 is weak. And the knight still needs a while to get back into the action. But he does have rook b1, which I kind of missed from afar. Bishop d5, rook b6. Goes a4 with similar intentions. I guess I should stop that pawn in its tracks. And I'll put my bishop here. You can try to spice it up with c3, bishop c4. He goes that way, but I like the immediate bishop c4 better, because now bishop c4, rook c8 might be trouble. And once again, with two pieces out of play, you don't want too many discussions on the other side of the board. So, how do I get this done? I guess accentuating that he has two pieces out of play cannot be too bad an idea. Mr. Dodgy is saying Jan has a decent run to the quarterfinals if he can have Duda quietly assassinated. Nah, that sounds like overdoing it, Mr. Dodgy. We all take our Banter Blitz cups very seriously. But quietly assassinating an opponent sounds like too much. As for the position, yeah, Smurfen is still in trouble, because it's really, really hard to free his pieces. He's trying, but in the meantime, I do what I do best. Take pawns. And even on e2, this knight is not a bundle of joy. And just to be my unpleasant self, I'll cut it off from e2 as well. Although, yeah, not sure that was strictly necessary or smart. But the position remains very, very winning. Because we're playing two different games. He's trying to free his pieces. I'm trying to take all his things. And if he manages to free this bishop while I took all his things, I don't think either side will be too unhappy. I'm tempted to blunder with a4, rook b1, a3, rook b4, a2. Yeah, what could go wrong? I can't recall a single time where I tried to do something clever and then hung all my pieces, therefore. What's not to like? Squabby is asking, has Jan talked about his preparation for the Banter Blitz Cup already? Yup, I've talked about it as long as I have prepared. But next round, I'll go deep. And it does look like Mr. Alireza Firouzja is back in the building. The fantastic star joins our little show and he plays the Spanish. Pretty good opening. I want to learn something, so I'll play my main line. Le Marshal, as we call it in the business. Let's see what Alireza does. He goes d3, which is more or less telling me, you're a patzer, old man. I don't need any theory debates. I will just put my pieces somewhere. Then I'll play you, which, frankly, is pretty sound reasoning. Alright, so far, so random. Can't be too bad for me, can it? Can I go d5? I kind of want to go d5. I don't want him to take all my pieces. So that could be a trade-off. But it looks like a natural enough thing to do. I was wondering what happens if he takes, bishop takes and plays c4, but even bc4 didn't look too bad, I thought. It was queen e2, but that should give me some options. This looks natural now with his bishop on b2. Oh. All these natural moves and then I blunder a piece. Great stuff, Jan. Hang on. Still hope. Not highly deserved, but still hope. Queen c6, bishop d5 was trapping the queen. So, we're still in business. Thanks to my great calculating. Position is scarier than I thought, though. Should have thought the c4 thing through. But the problem with thinking things through is that takes time. And if I take time, I have none left. So it tends to be a lose-lose situation, all these things. Knight h4, so aggressive. It's unlikely he's gonna take something on e7, so that looks like an unnecessary pre-move. Queen takes e7. Now it looks like I'm doing sort of okay. But last time I said that I was getting ready to resign on the next move. Therefore, celebrations do not seem in order just yet. I'm so scared of everything. I should not always be scared. It's not a way to live your life. Queen h4, so aggressive. g5, do you take? I might get mated after bishop h6, but such is life. Still slow. Now I has good position, but I has no time. Time to speed up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. 94 does not look like the way to do it. Well, what to do? Gotta make moves. Bishop c1. Stop attacking my things, Alireza. I do not like that. Not the greatest pre-move ever made. That's a pity. I make one pre-move. Yeah, that is a pity. He made a bad pre-move too, though. I have to wait for the bishop c5 moment. There it comes. This I will manage. I am fairly confident here, as long as I can avoid stalemate, which is not a given, frankly. Yeah, I believe a flawless game by both sides. I first thought I thought I had a great position. Then I thought I have to resign after queen to e4, threatening queen h7 and queen takes c6. Then I spotted that here I still have bishop d5, which was nothing but luck. Then, I don't know, the game was randomly complicated. I think I was doing fine. Here I was much better. Then I messed it up. Then I made this great pre-move after a5. I was so sure he would go bishop c6 for whatever reason. So I made this great pre-move, after which I was lost. And then he made his great pre-move, losing the rook. So, great game by both sides. Thanks for the game and thanks for blessing our little show with your presence, Alireza. Best of luck in your upcoming events, mainly the Banter Blitz Cup. I know that is the big one. So, how can we top this? Playing, arguably, the greatest talent the chess world has to offer. I think there is only one way. But Magnus not here, so we will play Mr. Dodgy instead. Caro-Kann. Bishop c4, great line by Mr. Dodgy, following the footsteps of his mentor, fatherly friend, idol, Simon Williams. Is that accurate, or am I exaggerating your Simon Williams relationship, Mr. Dodgy? I must admit, I have not spent much of my precious time on the intricacies of 2 bishop c4. But it does look like a pretty terrible line, no? Bishop is not great here. I read that Alireza moved to France. That is correct. Our French source, Monsieur Fressinet, has informed me that he's 150 kilometers out of Paris in a beautiful town. I forgot the name. While Mr. Dodgy is questioning some of his life choices that led him to this position, like trusting Simon Williams. What can he do? I guess he's going to go e5. Okay, a3 is kind of sad. More sadness incoming. I see no bravery in his eyes anymore. Only sadness. Queen g6 is the move that would annoy him most, but I think I will play with his feelings a little bit and castle first. Allow him to get in bishop h6. And then here comes the cooler. So pawn up, better position, better time. This is becoming a coin flip. Remember your training, Jan. Put pawns on, I think dark squares. Here's a dark square bishop. Flag. I think that was my training. Where are dark squares? This is a dark square. This is also a dark square. I'll start with this dark square. It looks darker. I could give a little check. Maybe first king h7. Just for funsies. It's time for the little check. Mr. Dodgy facing a thankless task here. But as usual, he's handling it with great dignity. Is dignity a word? It is a word. Should be good enough. All right. Time to admit, my previous play was not the smartest. I thought knight d2 was his point. Apparently it's not. Knight d2, rook c3. I'm still winning, I think. But it was still more of a fighting chance than this. Mr. Dodgy's working on a mating net here. It's not quite a mating net, but close enough. After king g4, and Mr. Dodgy resigns here. The opening didn't go well after that. He put up his trademark stellar fight. I feel I should lose another game to Mr. Dodgy, so whenever people troll me about, haha, you lost a blitz game to Magnus and it's on camera, then I can say, but I lost to Mr. Dodgy yesterday. I did lose, 7 games to the Dalai Drama yesterday, who plays pretty well though. Dragon Horus, are you with us? He's from Mexico, and I'm not gonna make a firewall joke. I believe that is what we call personal growth. Even though, here we are, 1 e4. Time for my daily Sicilian. Did I play a Sicilian? I played this 1 queen a5 game. I'm not sure if that really counts as a Sicilian. And here we are playing the so-called English attack. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. This system, I have not checked in recent years. End of story. I guess I should stop e5. Queen c7 does seem to stop e5. Then after rook e1, probably f6. Maybe knight g6. But knight g6, h4 looks a little silly, so I'll go f6. Try to go bishop d7, rook a8, and then look around. Mr. Dodgy is upset I'm playing the Sicilian against Dragon Horus and not against him? So you think the the Caro-Kann is a meaner opening? Gandalf the Guide is saying, Jan, you need some acoustic foam. Echo is pretty much destroying the audio. I'm sorry to hear that, because this little room is full of foam. So we just did all that. Yeah, that'd be a great pity. I thought the audio was much improved. So, yeah, sorry to hear. Could always be me messing up the sound settings. Like, for example, having something on that shouldn't be on, but I don't think it is. Therefore, yeah, that'd be bad news. Bishop h3. What do I do? I could go d4, leading to a more standard King's Indian type structure. I want to go c4 ideally. I'm not sure that's good, but I want to do it. Mr. Dodgy says, audio sounds good to me, but I'm yet to be convinced by the new chair. This is an old chair. This is my personal belongings. I bought this in the old days when I was looking for, I don't know, I think a chair. What's not to like? I took a pawn here, which I'm always delighted to do. Wow, more hatred for the chair. New chair is terrible, but this is an old chair. The chair needs to go. What's wrong with this chair? I don't understand. It's very lightweight, it's comfortable. You people and your strange chairs preferences. I'll contact the company chairman, see what he has to say about it, but I'm not sure any chairs are in the budget. Can I go e5? Looks like it. Allez le bleu. Should I play f3 Zwischenzug? It's kind of tempting. But wow, more hate for the chair. This is heartbreaking. All the mean things you guys have said to me over the years, that you do not like my chair, is the most upsetting of all. What's next? Disliking the singer chair? I do have other chair options available. I just really like my chair. This one? This will make you all go blind. It comes with a built-in mirror. And Ship it Holla Ballers is saying Mr. Dodgy is well known in the chair community as a bully. That explains it. Then maybe I shouldn't take it as much to heart as I'm currently doing. Still hurts. Words hurt. Time to speed up a little bit. I have the more pieces thing going, so that's good. And Dragon Horrors lose on time. Slatanizir didn't even like my chairman joke. You people are too hard to please. If very mediocre chess and very mediocre wordplay is no longer cutting it, what's my raison d'être? Maybe my French. From what I hear, there's not much going on chess-wise in the French market, so I'll always have a place there. RT Vesca Markel. Is this our last game? Nah, I think I can play one more after that. Where's RT from? Spain. Okay, against Spanish people, you gotta play DE5. That is a well-known fact. H6 is giving me a pawn. You know how much I love pawns. Instead of H6, Robin gave... What did he give? He gave something in his video series. Knight D4, knight takes E5, and then some clever move. Knight E6 is interesting. And bishop G4 or queen takes D1 followed by bishop G4 are also very possible. Well, now I have a pawn. How do you recapture here? Maybe ED. Of course, opposite colored bishops always add some drawishness to these positions, but as long as there's rooks on the board, my winning chances are actually fairly decent, especially with his dead weight pawn on what's called D4, restricting his own bishop. So this is a pretty good position. Let's not overthink it. It's game over. Run. It's too late to start thinking, Markel. Hipster chair. That's a very old chair. I think this chair was invented before hipsters were invented. Who invented hipsters, by the way? Someone must have been the first hipster. And Arti Veska Markel is showing himself to be a true sportsman by disconnecting and making me wait 22 seconds from here to win. Great job, Arti Veska Markel. Fatros Piter is saying vegans invented hipsters. I'm not sure if that is true. And RT Veska failed to reconnect in time. Who would have thought? Alright, last game du jour. Some non-premium challenges, I can't accept those, I'm sorry. But I can accept Rami Rocha or Ramia Ocho. And it's being pointed out to me that it could have been a coincidence when he disconnected. That could, of course, be the case. In that case, I apologize. Just odd timing. Ramir likes the London system. I'm sick of playing d5, c5. I'll play d6, knight, bd7. Genius. It was Gavin McInnes who invented hipsterism. He's quite a controversial figure these days, I'm being told. I had no idea. Can I go for cheap tricks? D, E, D, E, bishop E5, and no more cheap tricks. That's too bad. I don't like this position that much, actually. This structure is always looming c5, which is not too pleasant. So, Ramia Ocho. Maybe knows what he's doing. Beck created the hipsters. Singer Beck from I'm a Loser Baby, So Why Don't You Kill Me? He created hipsters? Maybe. I had no idea it was Beck. I also have no idea what to do. I really don't like my position. B6 is an ugly move to make. And I feel I gotta do something against C5 eventually. E4, knight D2, I still can't play D5. So yeah, not too thrilled about it. But it had to be done so that we could have fun. Rami Ocho thinking here. I don't see anything particular if he goes A3. B5 is also very much an option, but he does play A3, and why not? Yeah, white is a good position. What can I say? I'm just biding my time here. I always thought it was biting my time, but apparently it's biting, like Joe Biden. Rami Ocho seems like a strong player. And here comes C5. It's just crushing me thus far. Yep, this does not look great. Still doesn't. Nah, he's too strong. I'm gonna have to flag. It's a bit sad. F5 knight C5 was not great. That's why I went for this first. Still not great, obviously. The lesser evil, I would argue. Now we have what in the industry we like to call a drawn endgame. But I have bishops, so I will very shamelessly continue playing till the bitter end. Yeah, sorry Rami Ocho, played a very good game. Outplayed me for big stretches of it. What can you do? That's it for today's impromptu Banter Blitz show. Thank you guys for watching. Blah, blah, blah. Go premium to participate in the next one. All the good stuff. See you next time. Or probably at some point during the World Cup finals. We'll, jump in if stuff gets exciting. Until then.